So we back with Sensational Talk, and I'm joined by my lovely guest, the lovely, lovely Temptress.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be down here.
Good to hear. How was the flight?
It was pretty smooth. We actually got in about 30 minutes early, and I never understand how that works, but I'm happy it happened.
What airline did you fly?
Why you...
We've been having some mishaps on the airline, so I want to know how you got here.
I was on Southwest, and they said we're getting here 30 minutes early. Don't know how that happens, but I'm never complaining about it. And yeah, everything was great until we got to the airport, and it was a little...
But it was Southwest that just had a near miss, no? You didn't see that?
No. Oh, that
Southwest
was actually...
with the Learjet when he landed and had to take back
That was actually in
off?
Chicago. But it was actually at the era of the little jet, and Southwest did what they needed to do. You ain't see the way they took off?
Yeah, I see that, but that's too close. That's why I don't like flying, because of stuff like that.
You can get hit by a car.
No, I can't.
Actually, you're more likely to be hit by a car than you are to crash an airplane.
I don't like.
Yes,
I don't.
you are.
I don't like the statistics that's on the that they have for the airplane and say you're more likely safe on. You're not more likely. Clearly not.
Yes, you are. Now, what's going on right now is it's hectic for sure, but there are every car the airlines that you've seen the crashes and the mishaps, that many happened today in this city. Like,
right.
It's definitely safer to fly.
No.
It's still scary, though. I won't take that away. It is scary. I fly a lot, and every time I get on the plane, I'm always like, hopefully, it's not the one. So,
how many times a year you fly? Very often?
It varies. I like to travel. I love to travel. Like, so many places to explore, so I'm always trying to go someplace else.
How many places you been outside the U.S.?
I don't know. Colombia, Trinidad, Puerto Rico. I don't know. Mexico, everybody goes to Mexico.
First of all,
the Bahamas.
Places like Colombia, I hear people get kidnapped there, and Mexico. I'm not doing it.
You're just biased.
I'm not doing it. I just want to go on vacation and know that I'm going to make it back home.
So what's your ideal vacation?
Home.
That's not, what?
Home.
That's not a vacation.
The movie theater. Listen, I know I'm going to get back home, though.
But that's not a vacation. That's just enjoying where you live.
That's a staycation. It's the same thing.
So would you go to like neighboring states, drive over and do like a cabin trip, or like what?
I mean, I drive. I just want to avoid flying a little bit.
That's fine. But I feel like a staycation is one thing, but a vacation requires you to leave space that you're familiar with.
What's a staycation to you?
A staycation is staying somewhere. So say there are some things that I like to do, but I live a little further away, and I know that I want to just be able to thoroughly enjoy without having to worry about how to get home or any issues. So then I'll stay, even if it's only 25 minutes away or 30 minutes, I don't have to drive. Everything's in walking distance. And it's just, if you don't live there, then it's a different experience being able to just move around. That's a staycation. A vacation would be me going someplace where I'm looking up the restaurants. I don't know where to go. I'm it's just a completely different scenery. So you need a vacation.
So besides traveling, right, I've learned something about you. You're quite the chef.
I do. I love to cook.
Are you self-taught, or does this come from like your mom or your dad?
It is a mixture of things. Like my mom and my aunt cooked a lot, but I actually started cooking when I was about 14, maybe.
That's early. You was getting them wifey skills up real fast.
No, it was life essentials is what it was.
That's true.
And because I didn't grow up, we were hit or miss, you know what I mean? And my mom was working a lot, and I remember we were going through a period where, I don't know how I found out, but I found out that she was like skipping lunch and this and that because she was working a lot, didn't have the money to necessarily buy it, so I took it upon myself to teach myself how to cook.
Such a good daughter.
Thank you. The first time I remember this to this day. I don't know why I took on such a big task, but I decided to make chicken, not like noodles or something a normal person would do. And she was so excited, and it was so perfectly cooked on the outside.
On the outside,
I didn't realize that you need to have the temperature right so that it'll actually cook through. And I remember she was so grateful until she took a bite and it was bloody. And
I didn't know that chicken gets bloody on the inside.
It was like chicken wings. Like they weren't like they're raw, so it's still like kind of pink and this and that. So yeah, that's how I initially started to cook.
What'd you season it with?
I don't remember. Couldn't tell you that.
More than salt and pepper?
I literally have no clue. I don't even know if I seasoned it. I would assume I did.
Do you season now with just salt and pepper?
No, that wouldn't be like real cooking.
What's your season game like?
I got a lot of stuff. One of my favorite that people don't have, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, I think is Zatar. I love that. It's like has like all these different herbs in it and like sesame seeds, and I like to put it on my avocado toast. It's like a life hack.
Oh my
But
God.
everything, the cabinet
Another
is full. I
woman in
have
this
like shelves.
avocado toast.
I have, first of all, no slander shall prosper with the avocado toast. It's so versatile, please.
It is not.
But
I don't know what people like about it.
the seasoning cabinet is in abundance. I got racks of seasonings. And what don't you? So do you like guacamole?
I do like guacamole,
Okay,
but that's different. It is avocado, yes, but it's different. I feel like it's made different. It's seasoned different. It tastes different.
it's avocado toast is made how you make it. So me personally, I do salt, pepper, garlic powder. Like I season it. It's not just literally avocado and toast, right? Then you do like a nice little egg on top. Like, didn't I tell you I didn't eat yet? I'm hungry. All this food talk's making me hungry.
Ain't nobody tell you to come here on an empty stomach. That was a mistake. Especially if you a hangry woman. I don't want to feel that wrath. I didn't do it.
I am a hangry person, but only when provoked. I'm not just like, I'm hungry and I'm mad. Like, that's not really hangry. It might not take much to get me mad, but it'll still require a catalyst, please. So you've been such a joy. My glass of wine is making me happy. The weather's nice.
Good.
I'm not hangry.
What's the what was the weather in Chicago?
It was actually almost 60. So
Oh, that's not too bad. I think
yeah, the winters aren't what they used to be.
it was 60 yesterday here.
So I feel like that means it's gonna be like 80 or 90 this weekend.
Maybe.
But it was nice. I came out and I'm like, winterized, and I didn't have everything zipped up. I'm like, oh, this is actually nice. Like coats open.
And you don't realize it till you get out of the airport because it's still cool in the airport. It's not till you
Yes.
get out. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, it's time to really get a tan. I'm working on it. So it'll be
How
good.
long is this? Am I allowed to say why you out here? I don't know if you want.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's not like.
Well, how
not a
long
big
is
deal.
this? How long is this cruise you going on? How
It's
many days?
8 days.
Oh hell no!
See,
On the water?
You are anti everything that I love.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know how to. Do you know how to swim?
Yes.
I don't know how to swim.
I float well too. But yes, I do actually know how to swim. Fun fact, I was on the swim team in high school but only for like 2 weeks. It was so terrible. But not because it was that I couldn't. They were very serious about their swim team at the high school that I went to. So you had to be there before school and after school, and I didn't have a ride, so I had to quit. But I did join the swim team for 2 weeks, so I still claim it. Thank you.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know how to swim, and I've seen the Titanic way more than I would like to.
Oh, God.
I don't know. This is just real shit. This is why I rather. I know it sounds crazy, but I think I'd rather, if it had to be between fire and water, I'd probably go with fire. I don't want to, like drowning is. I don't know, man. Like I see people on boats, and it gives me those butterflies. Like I cannot.
I think that they're kind of equal. I can't say that I would choose one over the other.
Yeah, that
I
was
think
probably
that,
dumb. But
I don't
if
think
I had
it's
to
dumb.
compare,
But if you can't swim, it's like that's an automatic no. You know what I mean? It's like no. But I think that like between fire and drowning, like it's just one of those.
what are the statistics on a boat?
I don't know that.
See, you should know that.
Why?
Because you seem like you boat often.
I do.
You boat often and you fly often, so you should know what the statistics of survival are
We
on a
outside.
boat.
Boat season is loading, and we're outside. And so, but this is where it is. Everything's a number game in life, right? You just never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, good, bad, or whatever. So you just try to make the best decisions you can make. So me personally, boating rules 101. You don't get on anyone's boat. Just because someone's like, oh, you got car booties, you got boat booties too. Same thing. You know what that is? Or is that like...
No.
Okay.
When
You
you
look so
saying booty,
lost.
I'm like...
Okay, a car booty used to be like back in the day when girls would just want to ride with you because you had a nice car. So like if you got a nice car, they getting in it, they flirting with you, and it's like that's your game. That's why men in their cars like, oh yeah, I get all the hoes with this. No. Same thing with boats. Boat booties is not a thing, but it's the same thing. If you know what car booty is, then you understand when I say boat booty.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are just quick to get on anybody's boat, and they don't understand that not everyone really knows what they're doing. And that's a hard no. Like you need to be able to trust the person you're with your life because it is at stake. So rule number 1, don't do that. So yes, I'm excited.
We're talking about When you say car booty, right?
Oh, God.
That's one man driving the car. If you talking about like Carnival or Royal, whatever the cruise are, we talking about the captain and like a ship filled with like 3,000 people. That's not
Yeah.
the same. So how you know whose boat you getting on? It's not like you in a canoe.
Well, the odds are just naturally in your favor because this is a business, so they should be properly trained.
Should be.
Now, when you got one boat, one man, that don't mean he know how to drive that boat. So he don't need, like, they go to class, but they still don't be knowing what they're doing because, it's a lot of different things at play. Is it windy? This is that. But as a business, I would expect you to know what you're doing. And it's actually better because the bigger the boat, the less you feel, I will say the motion in the ocean, but that sounds...
It's all about the motion in the ocean. That's what I hear. I don't know.
But on the bigger boats, it's not as bad. So sometimes you just feel like you're just driving down a cute little street and you're just going about your way.
What's the ratio of
Why do you think I know so many statistics?
I don't know
ratios?
because listen. If I get on a boat, I need to know that there's a life raft for me.
I know what's probable and what's unlikely and what's reasonable.
Is there enough of those boats that if something happened, we all getting on one? Is anybody getting left behind? Is all I want to know. That would determine whether I get on a boat.
I have no clue. You know what? All I can hope is that if something happens, I make it out.
Well, you can float, so you're good.
Hey, look,
so,
I can stay out there for about 36 hours, just,
Till the sharks come for you.
See, why you always got to put such a dark spin?
So let me ask you this, right? Going back to cooking, what's your favorite meal to chef up? Or what your favorite type of food, like Italian, Chinese?
It wouldn't be Italian. I'm not a big pasta girl. I'm actually not like a super carb girl. I'm more like side dishes and meat. I feel like I got my own answer because I was gonna say there's nothing in particular that I like because I really cook. I'm an emotional cooker, so either I'm cooking all the time or I'm not cooking at all. I have to envision and have a desire for what I want. If you just leave it to me because as a human I need to feed myself, either I'm going to starve or I'm going to Uber Eats because I have no desire. So with that said, I think I cook Cornish hens is probably the one thing that I cook every month.
Cornish hens?
Yeah.
When you say you're an emotional cook, right? We talking emotional like you said I am?
Actually, yes, that would be the area where it is.
Because I'm trying to figure out what made you determine that I'm emotional.
Well, your platform in general will require you to be a bit emotional because you have to be like sympathetic towards like what people are going through. So if you weren't emotional, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Right?
I mean, you're definitely right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just want to know how'd you pick it up?
In general conversation, the way you lead with things or the choice of words for me, like my background is in sales. So I may be a bit more perceptive to certain things because I'm like, okay, the way you worded this or even the approach or this and that. It's not that I'm like over analyzing. It's just like I read it. I'm like, okay, I see. And that's that. So it's nothing that you've done. It's nothing.
Oh, I mean,
it's just I could just tell.
Like I said, you're not wrong. I just wanted to know, like, is it like a dead giveaway? Like, do people, something like?
Do you think it's not? Do people tell you it's not?
Sometimes. So, I don't know.
I think they're just being nice to you because you're tall.
Yeah, you think that's what it is?
Yeah, I would go with that. Like people being nice to me because I have boobs and like, they try to like do stuff.
Do you think that though?
Absolutely. You can always tell.
How?
Because they don't actually have anything to talk about. They don't actually... They're trying to more size me up and see where they are rather than like just engaging with me as an individual.
They sized you up because you sized up.
Yes, essentially. And then they come over and it's like, they say something crazy and I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. And now...
Do you think that gets in the way of you finding a potentially good guy?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that I probably have to weed through a little bit more. Well, I wouldn't even say a little bit more. I would just say, as far as me being approached or different conversations, it's probably happening a little bit more. But I know women, different shapes, sizes, colors, heights, professions. We all have the same struggle. So this is not a body type issue. It's a global issue with men and women.
How old you say you were again?
Old enough.
Okay. Fair enough. And are you single?
I am.
I gotta ask. The people want to know. They definitely want to know. How would one approach someone like Temptress?
The way you would approach anyone else. I don't think that I acknowledge my platform. I acknowledge, being known, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're all human. And I say that all the time, I feel like no matter what your platform is, you could be the richest, you could be the biggest celebrity. You're still human at the end of the day. And I think that when people forget that, that's when they start to do that little shift. So I would just say be kind, be gentle. Don't come up to me talking crazy. And allows me to be my natural self. I get to be nice and bubbly and fun. So yeah.
You think you come off as intimidating to some men?
I've been told that. Even if I'm like I could be smiling ear to ear and just having a good time. They're like, I can't talk to her. So
why do you think it is though? Because some women, you see them and it's like you blinded, almost blinded by beauty or something. You're like, nah, there's no way I can. There's no way I could get with that woman. There's no way she's gonna see me in that manner, and I have no shot.
I think that it just boils down to it's insecurity, and we all have them, right? So I get that. And I've been in a situation where it's like, shooter's gonna shoot. You're gonna shoot your shot. But I'm never mean. It's like if I'm interested, I'm interested. If I'm not, I'm not. But I'm not like being rude about it. But I get that all the time. Or sometimes people will see me and it's kind of weird because they'll be like, oh, I saw you here and I saw you there, but I didn't say anything. So I said today I was gonna talk to you, and I'm like, oh. And I don't be knowing who they are. So like I stand out obviously. So people see me a lot more than I see them. Mm-hmm. But I always think that that's interesting as well. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that you came to say hi, let's talk.
How can you separate who's actually trying to talk to you for your mind opposed to someone who's looking at your chest and like, I
think that outside of like it being blatant, you can't really tell because people have representatives. So you can come up to me with your best self because you may feel that that's what it's going to take for me to actually entertain a conversation with you. It doesn't mean that you're being authentic. And that's with men, women, around the world. Mm. I just try to do the best I can. If you're a great actor, great job. If not, it'll crumble very quickly. But I think that I just try to focus on being a good person and being nice to people. And if you have ulterior motives, and if I take an interest in you and your approach was not authentic to what you desire, then it'll come out at some point. But I think trying to really focus on figuring out good, bad, indifferent, it stunts the experiences that you have because you're too focused on trying to catch someone up. What's going to happen is going to happen. It'll come out eventually. Life goes on regardless.
Would you ever give a shot to a guy who tries to slide in your DMs, or do you think that's a tacky way of doing things? I mean, because that's some people's only approach. Yeah. You personally, it's like that's some people's only shot at getting towards you. Like, for instance, like anybody who does social media.
No, I don't. People ask me, would you date a fan? Yes. The answer is,
I hate that word, man.
But that's what they say. I'm just
a fan.
Reiterating what they say. Or they'll say like, and I be like, a fan is just, again, a man. You know what I mean? Just because you're a fan of me does not make you any less than. If you're a weirdo, you're a weirdo. You're just naturally a weirdo, but that's not like, they aren't hand in hand. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, yes, I would date someone through a DM. Every now and again, I'll see something and I'm like, oh, I wonder who that is. And then I'll go to the profile and it's like private. And I'm like, well, that's dead now, so never mind.
So they got to be public, or else they got something to hide?
I'm not gonna follow you. Like, I would go to the profile, see if it's like cute or whatever, and if it is, I'm like, okay, maybe. Rarely does that happen, but that's usually how it turns out. Or the profile picture be really, really nice, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then you go to the profile, and it's like, well, this is different. That must have been like your best picture ever.
What you mean? Well, that's kind of like we talking about other pictures.
People do it on dating sites too. They'll have that picture from 10 years ago where it was the perfect lighting, it was the perfect setting, everything. You was a perfect weight, everything was perfect. And then you go to pictures. They have 6 pictures. That's number 1. You go through the other 5, and it's just like one of these things is not like the other. You know what I mean? And that happens all the time.
Everything should be updated. Nobody should be on dating sites with 10-year-old pictures. Please.
Look.
And they do it.
It's a scam.
It is a scam. I've been back in the days when I was in my, my dating era when I was a young buck. I got catfished a lot. I was getting catfished before there was a show Catfish, and I didn't even know that was a real thing. I couldn't understand, but it was jokes on them because I would meet women who had pictures of them when they were like, you know, years ago when they were slim, and I meet them and they're big, and it's like, jokes on you. I like big women, but you could have just
But be
been
transparent
honest about it.
Yeah,
Like you don't.
I don't think it's an issue. Like you say, like I don't size discriminate, but you can't introduce yourself as something and then I show up as something else, because now you're taking it back because you already have an idea about this person and you weren't being true. So I mean,
You're a
outside of
liar.
the superficial aspect of it, of like that red flag, it's levels to that. And I think that when you see the flag, you should acknowledge it, because it's only going to get, I won't say worse, but that's a telltale sign. I'll say that.
Do you
Because men do it too.
Do you require a special build? Like you like them tall, short, chunky, muscular, slim?
I won't say
You have a preference?
I require a special build, but I do have a particular build.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That could be. I don't. I looked at your hand. I'm like, damn.
No,
all right.
no, that would not be it. But
so that's a different build.
it was just. I would say I tend to go towards like stocky guys, like more athletic to kind of stocky. Like it's not a wide gap, but like right in here. Because you know I got some size to me. So even as a man, even if you're still stronger than me, it's about like how I feel. You know what I mean? And with that, it's like, I feel like a woman should be intimidated by her man, and women experience that in different ways. But if I don't feel slightly intimidated, like you're just too small or too skinny or too this or too that, it's nothing against you. It's just that it doesn't fulfill for me. And I think that I've actually been conditioned to like taller, more men of more stature, because I went through the days of being out and men feel like they can say whatever they want because they feel like they can take him. And I remember one time I was out loving my boyfriend, and I just felt like
He was a short king?
Not short. He was like, well, shorter. He was probably like 5'8", so short, but like not like short. But sweetest. And I remember some guys was talking crazy, and he felt like he needed to stand up for me, and it was like, we don't need to do that. And I just didn't feel confident that he was going to win this battle. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against it. Like, it just is what it is. He's doing what he's supposed to do. And I find that when I'm with a man of more stature, like they'll at least think twice before they say something off the wall. So it's just a bit of a safer space for me. It makes me more comfortable being out and about. So yes, I like, who doesn't like big, tall men? But
me? I like my men short.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I feel like I've been conditioned to stop laughing. I feel like I've been conditioned to do that. So yeah, I feel like if I can get the best of both worlds, the safety in the public and the feeling in private, then it makes sense to me.
All right, so I seen a video the other day, right? And even beyond the video, you hear about situations like this where, you know, you have a woman and then she has a man, and then the guy gets into the situation because of the woman, not particularly the woman, but just because, you know, he has a woman who's very appealing to the general public. And, you know, you have some idiots that want to try him. Now he gets in a situation where he gets, you know, jammed up. Like the video I saw, the girl went to a tattoo shop. She ain't like the price. She went and got her boyfriend. The boyfriend came, slapped the tattoo guy. Shot him after that.
Well, why did he slap him?
Will be nice.
I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think that that's an extreme, but you got to be ready. If you're going to start something, you got to be ready for it. I would like to see the video, because like, why did you slap him? If you don't like the price, go someplace else.
It's
Sometimes people try to be too hard. And even the situation I was telling you about, I appreciate that, like, he didn't try to overdo it. He wasn't trying to overcompensate. It was just like, you know, like, we're not doing that in here. You don't have to try to overcompensate, because I actually don't like confrontation. I don't mind addressing what needs to be addressed, but I don't like confrontation.
like sometimes the disrespect is too much. Like I get it what you're saying, because when I used to live in New York, I used to, like back in the day, we used to roam through 42nd Street, and there used to be a bunch of goons out there just standing by the movie theaters, and I would see dudes pass with their fly girlfriends, and the dudes would holler at the dude's girl while he's walking with them because he's a smaller guy. I've never had that happen to me ever in my life. And again, I'm a lot bigger than I was. I'm the same height, but now I'm like
You were skinny before?
265. I was like 147.
Oh, yeah. You was
And
just
still
hype.
then, you know, I didn't have that issue. But when you're a smaller guy, I feel like people know who to pick on.
That's true. And that's where you just got to pick your battles. Because at the end of the day, do they matter that much?
You know, sometimes women put their men in positions to
They
get
do.
taken out, terminated, and
Yeah.
that's
He should dump her.
that's not fair to the guy because
But-
you know some of these battles we cannot win, and I'm not even sitting here saying because I'm tall I could beat everybody up.
Exactly.
Please don't put me in that position.
So what would be a scenario where you feel like she put him in that position? Not that it just happened, but like it was her doing.
Like I don't know, I want to say I don't want to exaggerate it. Like
Go to the moon. We can come back.
you gotta I gotta go to the bathroom something, and you gotta come and like slap my wife's ass or something. Then she'll be like, yo, I'm gonna go get my husband. Cause then it's like, yeah, now we gotta fight. Again, one could say, you know, there's another route, this could end bad for you. You don't know what he has. But the
I feel like that's just, I mean, but that goes both ways. Like if a woman comes up and like grabs my man crotch, it's going to be a problem. Like, first of all,
there's certain things.
what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's where it's just, you know, I'm a firm believer in it's going to be what it's going to be.
And ain't nobody trying to fight. If we was all trying to fight, then that'd be cool. But everybody ain't trying to fight you, man. Nobody want to lose. So it ain't going to end up how you think it is.
It's going to be what it's going to be. And you pick your battle and, you know, from there you just kind of go about your way and figure out what you're going to do and keep it moving. You win some, you lose some.
So if you meet a man, right, and this guy leads with money, right?
No.
Because some guy, is that
I already know the answer to this. It's actually
is that the
a huge
expectation
turn-on.
you have, like for the duration of the relationship, if you intend to go that length with him, if he leads like that?
So when you say lead with money, is this just like the
Like he's just trying to impress you with everything. He's just dropping
yes.
all
So
this money on the
I was
first
initially
date.
saying like I hate when men start a conversation with what they have because it's just like, okay, go away. You know, no. But if we get into conversation and we're engaging and, you know, we're actually hanging out and you're doing this, and that, don't introduce a vibe you can't maintain. Now, do not introduce a vibe you cannot maintain. And oftentimes people overdo it because you can do a lot of nice stuff and it doesn't necessarily have to be extravagant, right? Sometimes it's more about the thought behind it. Sometimes it's about the intentionality behind it and, you know, taking into consideration the things we've talked about. It could be the little things that can take you a lot further. But if you come in guns blazing, then it's like, oh, okay, I like this. And then 30, 60 days later,
Take it away.
it's all gone. It's like, okay, well, how would you expect me to respond? Like, don't do a bait and switch on me. Come in with what you have and everything will be fine. Let me choose what I want to do. But if you're going to do a switch up like that, then it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to switch up too. Because why? Why? Because I'm sure somewhere through the conversation you started lying. So.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just like, no. But in my opinion, then he set himself up for failure.
That's true.
I don't think you should do it. And I think oftentimes I tell men, like, a lot of men feel like they need to do that. With certain women, you know, you may need to do that, but don't underestimate the power of self, right? A lot of times people are more than what they give themselves credit for. So just go have the conversation, you know, be charismatic, be funny, be flirtatious, and be attentive. That will take you so far. Even if she didn't think she was interested in you, it's like, well, he does at least seem fun. Or the conversations like, I don't have conversations like this. Those things will take you so much further. He sprinkles a little extra cash on top. And it's like, So yeah, that's just my little, you know, tidbit on that. So
You think you personally are a tough woman to deal with?
yes.
Are you toxic?
No. I'm very logical, which makes me tough to deal with.
How so?
I like for 1 + 1 to equal 2. And if it doesn't, then I would like to have a conversation about why 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. I have my emotions, but I don't lead with emotion. I lead with logic, which as a woman built like how I'm built makes me tough to deal with because people already approach me under the assumption that if they lead with money, it's going to get them where they need to go. If they lead with arrogance and all these things that are just naturally the opposite of what I actually desire in a man. So I think that makes me tough to deal with because I don't think that they know what they're getting themselves into. But the ones that do and like it, love it. So,
What do you desire in a man?
confidence, understanding that there is so much strength in being soft. Don't be aggressive with me. I love princess treatment. Be nice to me.
Take notes, fellas. Take notes.
Like you can have a presence without having to be aggressive, and that's the type of man that I like. Someone that's ambitious, charismatic, open to new experiences. I mean, someone that's similar to me but different in the areas that I may lack.
So lately, I've been seeing a lot of black men online saying
Oh,
how they
God.
don't really like to deal with black women. As of recent, there's a young man who passed away. He had a white girlfriend,
Oh,
and she came home and
was cleaning her.
she shot him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his family was upset because he wasn't getting any love from the black women as far as that goes, because he made comments online saying he wouldn't. The only what did he say? He said
He
he
said
wouldn't.
he would rather fuck a white dog
He would
than
rather
a black
fuck
woman.
a
I know
dog
exactly
than a
what
black.
you're talking about.
So, and that's not even where it ends. But do you feel like, as a black woman, that you don't feel that appreciation from black men?
No, so many things going through my head. I need to organize what I want to say. I have the first thing I'm going to say because it's most important to me. I think that black men are some of the most complimentary people on earth, especially the black women. I see them, hey queen, hey beautiful, you look good today. I love your hair. So this whole thing about like, yes, you have the outliers, and yes, you have people who prefer not to have black women, but I see me, my friends, and just random black men all the time being nothing but positive. And I didn't even notice it at first because I was so used to it. And not to make it like a racial thing, but I had a friend of mine, she was actually white. And every time she was with me, she was like, I don't always see white men compliment white women the way I see black men always complimenting black women when I'm with you. And it wasn't until she said that I started to really notice it and like appreciate it. You could just be riding by on your back. You can be like, good morning, queen, have a good day. And it's just like, when she pointed that out, I was like, you know what, you're right. Hell yeah, you're right. So I want to make sure that I make that clear. Going back to the guy, I don't feel anytime you don't like black women as a black man, that's more of a reflection of yourself. And I actually feel, I want to say bad for them. I wish I could think of a better word, but something's not right because your family's black, your mother's black, your cousins are black. So if you have an issue with black women, then you have an issue with yourself. So I feel bad for him overall. I think that what happened is unfortunate. But at the same time, you can't do things and not accept the consequences. You can't berate and belittle black women and then be like, we're supposed to lift you up. I feel bad for you. I'm not going to say anything negative about the situation, but I'm also not going to say anything positive about the situation. It is what it is.
I feel the younger generation are on that wave more though. Like when I post stuff like that, you'll see the younger black youth in the comments. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going. Like, it's like you came from a black woman.
Good. It sounds
good. You came
good.
from a black woman. I could never. My mother would slap the shit out of me if I said something like that.
Yeah.
Like, my mother's black, my father's black, grandfather, grandmother. Like, why would I?
Oftentimes, I find that the way, not all the time, but oftentimes the way people act on the internet or even how they act in their like personal life is not the way that they're behaving at home. I feel like some of these things that people say, if you showed it to their mother, she probably would slap the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's why when stuff like this comes out, especially, with everything being on the internet, they're shocked because it's like, that's not my baby. That's not this. That's not that. And people have this whole like persona that they want to put on. Again, this always goes back to there's something else wrong. And I hope you figure it out and get some help because first of all, black women are amazing.
So I take it the brothers love you.
I was say everybody loves me. I was like, that sounds arrogant.
Maybe a little bit.
But I will tell you this, and like when I say love me, it's like, okay, boobs and this and that. But when people actually talk to me and I get to cracking jokes and having a good time, they're like, you are so fucking fun. And it's like a shock because I'm a huge goofball. And I got nothing but
Yeah, I could
sarcasm and
tell.
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, I could
I'm
tell.
like, don't slip up.
I could
I'm
tell.
always watching.
I get it.
And it's like the highlight of my day. And it makes people happy too. So it makes me happy.
Let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Being a 55-year-old woman.
Actually, 62. Get it right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have you ever been married?
No. I've been proposed to, but I have not in the way that was worth accepting. It was like that desperation, like, don't leave me, baby, please. I'll give you a ring. And it's like, first of all, why would I want a ring from you?
You know what? You know, when you said, I was thinking it was an episode of Martin where he wanted to, I guess Gina wanted to get married. And when he finally, he was like, damn, Gina, are you happy
take
now?
the ring, right. And for me, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even it was like ultimatum situation. It's more so like you messed up and I'm like, that's not going to work for me. And it's like,
That's a cheat code back in. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And people think like the ring is the way to go. And it's just like, well, no. You can go and you can take that raggedy ring with you. Bye.
Speaking of
And this
raggedy,
is why you asked me my problem. Yes.
speaking of raggedy rings, in your opinion, right? What should a wedding ring cost? Is there a minimum as to what a man should pay for a wedding ring?
Because I have not met a man that I would desire to marry, that's not even something that I've taken my time to look into. I will figure that out when it's time for me to buy a ring. I have no clue.
So if he opened up a box and you could hardly see the rock, you take it?
That wasn't your question. You said,
I'm asking you.
But that wouldn't happen.
Why not?
Because of the type of man that I would be with.
Oh, I guess.
Even if you weren't rich, you wouldn't propose until you took the time to save up something to get me something that you felt was respectable for yourself and for me. So it's not to say that it needs to be biggest
That's what I'm
ring.
saying. What is respectable?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be decked out. You know what I mean? But it needs to be nice. And I feel like the quick thing to that, people, they get the manufactured diamonds. Like, go get one of those. You know what I mean? As long as it looks good, it sparkles, and it's still a diamond, then it'll work out. But your expectations should align with the person that you're dating. So that's why I say, well, that doesn't sound nice. But the type of person that I would date. It don't
always sound nice.
The right type of person that I would date, even if it's like, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. Like I date guys who have a 9 to 5. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be this and that. But in order for us to align, for you to be comfortable with me, you're going to have to be in a certain place.
Have you ever dated a rich man before?
No. I've dated well off or like good, but never a rich man. Not that I couldn't, but usually.
Me neither. I wonder what that's like.
You know what? One day if I do, I'll let you know.
A good rich man. Give me a good rich.
I haven't found a rich man that I would like have fun with. Like I'm not one to take the sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing you have the money, but I'm just not attracted to you. If you try to put your lips anywhere on me, I want to be able to look at your face. If you're trying to put your lips anywhere on me, I want to be able to laugh at your jokes. If you're trying to put your lips anywhere on me, I want to enjoy your company. And sometimes that just don't align. But if you're out there, message me.
She's looking. Do you have any nerdy hobbies that people don't know about?
Nerdy?
I feel like you do.
I feel like I do too, but I'm trying to think if what I think is nerdy. If you're a goofball,
like you say you are, and you got some nerdiness in there somewhere.
I'm sorry. I don't know about nerd. So I don't think this is nerdy, but maybe it is because people talk about me. I like passing time by playing Candy Crush. I think that's more like granny.
That's nerdy. You old.
I love Candy Crush.
Only old people play Candy Crush.
And it's just like I pass time, or like I Google random stuff. So like I'll be in situations and sometimes I'll be like, I don't know why I know this, but I do know this. And it's because the most random thing will pop in my head and then I'll just go down a rabbit hole on Google and now it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, well, I don't think I'll ever use this, but it's good to know. And I answered all my questions. So yes, pick me for trivia.
So I need to know this, right?
Oh God,
when I spoke
I'm scared.
You say you started OnlyFans as a joke. How do you start that as a joke? Where's the joke?
Joke, right? I started as a joke. So I have a background in sales, and I used to it was $10.99. So it's like, you're going to eat what you make. That's just what it is. And I used to always crack a joke like, oh, I'm not a stripper yet, so it's fine. But not a dig on strippers because I love strip clubs. It's more about my personality and how I would probably go to jail the first night because I'm like, first of all,
You love strip clubs?
I do love strip clubs.
Male or female?
Female.
Oh.
We come back to that.
Okay.
I love the pole tricks and everything, but like I personally, like, I'm not, physical touch is not my love language. So I would go to jail. So the people that knew me knew it wasn't a dig. It was more so like, you wouldn't even make it as a stripper. First of all, you can't even climb the pole. So then as time went on, and I was doing real estate, you know, you eat what you make. That's what it is. And so I would say, oh, I haven't started OnlyFans yet. And that was like my running thing for the same reason. Like, I'm kind of private and, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, I am very friendly, I'm very nice, but I'm not the most friendly. Like, I'm cordial, I'm this, I'm that. But if we're in a space, then I become friendly. But otherwise, I'm just nice. So that's why the OnlyFans thing was also funny. And I also thought it was hardcore porn, which nothing bad about that. I watched that. That's fine too. I knew it wasn't for me. So it was actually a friend of mine that was like, it's not. I think he picked up on something in the sarcasm and knowing me as an individual. And he was like, it's not all like fucking, right? And I was like, it's not. And she's like, no, this one girl, like, she makes a shit ton of money just like modeling swimsuits. Yeah. I said, I know you fucking lie.
Not that I know, but that's
right,
what I hear.
You're innocent. Duh.
That's what I hear.
So I looked into it and I started seeing all this stuff and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. What do I have to lose? Like, I was doing fine. It wasn't even I can always make more, but I wasn't hurting at the moment. And then it was during COVID, so we didn't have shit else to do.
Oh, that was
in
the
2020.
best time to do
it was
anything
March.
online.
It was March 28th of 2020, and I was like, and I already love taking pictures. So, and I have a background in sales. 1 + 1 is equaling 2 for me, but I didn't really know. I knew nothing about the industry, so. That's where I just started following people. And that's where I followed Persephone and I followed Only One Rhonda. And I started trying to look into different people. And I didn't find exactly what I was looking for, but I got a better idea of it. And I said, I'm going to do it. And it just took the fuck off. And I was like, oh, people like me. Like, I didn't think I would fail because I didn't fail at, no. I didn't think I would fail because I didn't fail at sales, but I don't know anything about social media. I don't know anything about like marketing in this space. I don't know anything about the sex industry. No.
As crazy as it sounds, for some women, not all, all you got to do is exist.
There are women who look better than me that are doing worse than me.
But when you say better, that varies from
I'm saying
person to person.
In the traditional way. So I don't think it's just about looks because first of all, the internet
define better than you. Come on, let's give it to me.
If we're talking traditional, slimmer, the big boobs, I'm traditional. I'm not, first of all, I love how I look.
Slimmer.
There's always someone who looks better, and there's no one who looks better than you. It's subjective, but I'm being realistic. I'm talking about like the times. And everybody has their own niche, but
So you were actually surprised that you did well?
I was not surprised that I did well because I figured I would do well. I was surprised that I did great. And I was like, oh, that's more than I was expecting. And it only took a few months and I stopped because at first I didn't even do topless content. It was just covered in teasing. And I was okay. I just thought of something you're going to laugh at. I was okay with nudity, but I wasn't comfortable because I didn't understand the space I was in enough to do that. And that's where I ended up getting a manager and things like that. And, he helped educate me on how to navigate those waters. But side note, I started laughing because I really think it all just aligned. My mom told me I was probably a nudist when I was like 12. She used to always be like, be comfortable with your body, tits and ass, cracking jokes.
She's still here?
Yes.
Good.
And she's still crazy. So there's that.
I see where you get it from.
And I remember we used to be like, you walk around naked, it doesn't matter. And then I remember this day, she was like, you have pubic hair, you need clothes on. I'm like, what? You said, be comfortable with your body. And she was go put some clothes on. I'm like, wow. So I really feel like I just got back to my happy space. Like, I love nudity. I love being comfortable with myself in the right spaces and with the right environment type of thing.
Where did your mom grow up? Was she from Chicago too?
Yeah. Yeah, she crazy. But I love her.
Your dad?
From Chicago, but he doesn't live up here anymore. So
he's probably crazy too.
Yes. He always says, tell them men have gun, will travel. So and he means it.
So I take it your mom knows what she does, what you do, and she supports you?
Yeah, I remember when I first decided, like, one thing about me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I've always been pretty straightforward, and I haven't made a lot of, like, bad decisions. So I remember I called my mom, my sister, told a couple of friends, like, I'm about to do this shit. And they, like, the people who really know me was like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. The people who didn't know me because they like, oh, really? So I was very fortunate to not have to hide anything, because that's kind of how I lived my life anyway. It's just like, Temptress is going to do Temptress. So yeah, I called and my mom was like, I don't really like it, but I know how you are and you haven't made like a lot of bad decisions. So you grown, do you?
You still
And
talk to your pops?
yeah,
How you feel about it?
he felt like how you would think. But he's also said that he knows that I'm happy. He's always like, I don't really care for what you do, but I can tell that you're happy, and that's all that matters to me. It's not a matter of me like losing myself. If anything, I feel like I found myself more, because in doing OnlyFans, I became more comfortable with my body. Like, I was already good with it, but I became more comfortable with it. It was after OnlyFans that I wore a bikini for the first time, because I was always
In your life, or just?
yes, I was swimsuits, and I didn't wear bikinis because I can't find anything to fit me. And then it's like, you don't want too much attention when you go out. You're just trying to kick it. You don't want it to look like this. You don't want it to look like that. I wore stuff similar to what I wear now, but now I definitely wear whatever the hell I want to wear. And it was after OnlyFans that I developed even more confidence, and I realized it's really not that bad. Like, most people look at me like, girl, I know you ain't gonna find nothing to fit them things, and you look great. Have a good day. And I've been one of the fortunate ones that I've been met with so much positivity, whether it's saying like other big-breasted women saying that they felt this insecurity and they feel like it's okay to be built this way. And yeah, I feel like
Were
I'm
you
happy.
always top heavy, or did it just like?
No,
Because I hear like some women, like sometimes it just like takes off out of nowhere and it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, that's essentially what. So I was top heavy for what top heavy was at that time. You know what I mean? Like, but I was a late bloomer. I was definitely the itty bitty titty committee. We must increase our butts. The whole little thing. The bigger the better, the tighter the sweater. The boys are depending on us. But whatever.
That's a good line.
But I was a late bloomer, and it didn't matter to me. Like, I've always just kind of been like off the wall and fun, so people still liked me. It was never about, I never really cared about body for real. And then they just kept growing. And then start getting them comments like, God, girl, you need to, they kept growing and they kept growing. They're still growing. So it was not, I've always been busty, but this is just different. Like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore.
When I was in junior high school, I didn't even know how the woman's bodies work like that, right?
Right.
Summer break, we get off in June in New York. Some places is May. Came back. I promise you, this girl had nothing. She had less than an A cup. She came back after 2 months. I'm like,
yeah. I can't even, I look back at pictures from when I was like 18, and I think I was maybe a double D, which was huge back then.
Yeah.
They was like, oh, and I look at the picture, I'm like, that looked like
in the 60s, right?
Sikh.
In the 60s.
It was 1954.
Okay. That was off.
But yeah, like double D's used to be like, God damn. And I look back at pictures and it looked like C cups to me. It's just like, I don't remember. It don't feel that big.
Yo, they said that size so much back in the day. Like, it became like everything was like, yeah, I got double D's, I got D's. Now I'm hearing like M, N, O. I'm like, what? I didn't even know it go that high. I'm like, what?
First of all,
what time are we living in now?
I've grown and got to like G cup and this and that. And I'm like, okay, I'll make it work. And then I remember going for a fitting, like, girl, this is not your bra size. And I'm like, well, that would make sense because I do have like 6 titties. So like, we just making it work. But that was as big as it went for my waist size. It's like, okay, 36. And it's like, well, they don't make bras my size. So that's why I stopped wearing them. So there's that.
And I hear they become very expensive the bigger they are.
Yeah. And they're just uncomfortable. Like, I wear it like more stretchy material that's supportive. I don't wear traditional bras because I can never find anything to really fit me that actually feels good. And for my waist size, it needs to be like so tight that it's like, it feels like it's cutting off your circulation just for it to be lifted. We're just gonna let it be.
Well, there's a lot of men who they don't understand how gravity works. So they look at women and they feel like everything's supposed to be sitting up high.
Yeah, that's the world of social media.
I mean, I guess me personally, I never cared if they were like hanging under the belly button. It don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I would
Maybe
say
I was just different.
For aesthetic purposes, I don't like. They're supposed to hang, but if they drop, I would get them lifted.
Drop like what? Like what do you consider drop?
To whatever point where I no longer like where they're sitting.
On your lap?
Well, I mean, they'd probably be at the floor at that point. Like, I mean, they're okay right now. They're still full and perky, and they still, I'm not tall, and I have a short abdomen. Leave me alone.
You ever have a fan approach you?
Yeah.
In real life and try to take you out? Is that awkward?
No. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Like
I just ask because they see you online, like they already see.
I'll tell you one of the funniest stories, and it was like the sweetest, funniest story. I was in was it Boston? Yes, I was in Boston visiting my friend, and we're sitting at the table getting lunch, and I saw it was like they were doing construction on this. It was a Margaritaville, so it was like wood boards and everything that was up, and I keep seeing someone like look over from behind the wood board. I thought it was like a homeless person or something, and so I'm always watching my surroundings. I am who I am, and that's not my name. That's just where I'm from. But anyway, and I keep looking, and she's just having a good time. So then eventually, this thing comes out like this, and it says "Temptress" written on a wooden plank with a question mark. And I was like, "What the fuck?" He happened to be one of the construction workers on the site. That's why he looked like so like dressed down. And I'm like, "Yeah." So then he comes over, but it was like this big old fence in front of us, so like we couldn't. But I just took a picture of him. He was like the sweetest person ever. So if you see this, hi, I still remember you. It was so yeah. But I have people come up to me all the time, and sometimes people are outright like, "Oh, I follow you," or "Oh, I fuck with you. I like your content," whatever. And then you have the people who don't say that, but at some point, because I start talking, and then they slip up, and I was like, "Oh." And then they're like, "Oh," and now we doing that little stare off. That's that Diddy that did. I was like, "Why didn't you just say that?" So I think it's weird when people act like they don't know who I am, because now you have to try to recover from that. I would much rather you just put your shit on the table and we go from there, because at least I know what I'm doing. But if you're trying to hide it, that feels
Listen, man, I saw you. I seen your titties online. I see you now in person, and I want to holler at you. That's
I would actually laugh if somebody said
like,
that.
yo, you got to keep it 100. Like, listen,
First
man.
of all, I would prefer somebody to say, "I saw your titties online," when they say I like your content or whatever. But most people are like, "I follow you," or whatever. But if somebody said that, it's so straightforward. Like, even if you wasn't for me, I would still be entertained. And I'll be like, we at least got to take shots, because first of all, something is wrong with you, and thank you. And then it's shot o'clock. So, yeah. We'll see. But most times people just like, "Oh," or they'll be like, "I feel like it's you." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, da-da-da." So, yeah. Why are you laughing?
This is what I'm about to ask you.
I'm scared.
Anybody ever roll up on you and be like, "Yo, you got me through some hard times. I let go a couple. I let go a couple in your name."
Not hard times, but more so like, "Hey, yo, I saw this on Twitter on accident."
It was hard times.
And I was like,
No, it was hard times.
I'm going to have to go get some of that. I'm going to subscribe. I don't think that anyone would really tell me, though. Like, I don't think they're really going to. If people don't even want to acknowledge that they follow me, they definitely not going to tell me about their hard time. They'll tell me that via messages, but never like in person. No one has said that yet.
You ever received any kind of body shaming online? Like
online, in real life?
In real life?
Yeah.
I mean, I know online trolls, half of the time it's like these fake pictures or stupid private accounts. But
yeah.
how in real life?
This thing is just
just break it. Don't worry, just break it. I don't need it. Just break it.
Buy another one. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just break it. How does this happen in real life?
In real life, it's more so she's doing this for attention, or first of all, these titties don't fit in anything. Sometimes it's never for attention. I wear what I want to wear because I feel good in it and I like it. But people feel a way about nudity. They want you to be more modest and this and that, but you should just be minding your business. So that's what you can tell by certain looks. But for the most part, because that's not the majority. You always have the outliers that just want to be negative and, okay, whatever. Find something better to do. But for the most part, they'd be like, are these real, girl? My titties used to be this size. I got the titty stories that people tell me just because I have boobs is crazy, whether it's about their reduction, whether it's about them wanting to get implants, whether it's about them being comfortable with the boobs they have, or like, I always want to wear shirts like that. Like, I find that a lot more women approach me at a like, I wish that I had that I'm going to do me attitude like you have, because you look great, you speak well, and but for some reason I can't get over that because I'm worried about what people are going to say to me. So I have a lot more of those conversations than I do the negative ones, because you can get out of my face. You're choosing to be here, so you can leave.
Would you ever get a reduction?
Only if it was medically necessary. I love my boobs.
How's your back?
We best friends. It's fabulous.
Your back is good. Good
It
spinal
is.
cord.
Strong too.
I can tell.
I do my yoga. I work out. But other than that, I don't have any back problems. That's the number one question online. I just know her back is hurting.
They say that all the time.
I can see it now, and I'm just like, oh God.
That's about as common as people saying OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected.
Yeah.
I see that is about
That's
as much
fair.
as I see that.
And that says more about them. You know what I mean? My career has nothing to do with my level of intellect.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you, because a lot of people they get it twisted as if women who decide to take this career path aren't intelligent. They have no integrity, nothing, no character beyond this is what you do. You take your clothes off and there's nothing up there. Has anybody ever approached you like that, like leading with thinking that you like you're ditzy?
Yes. And it just backfires. So no one approaches me in the way of like saying that I'm ditzy, but based on like the conversations they'll try to have. And then once we get into conversation and they can't keep up with me.
Doesn't that feel good?
It's like, you tried. Good luck.
You tried it.
I don't have to try like to prove anything. I don't look to prove anything, but it usually just proves itself. And when you walk away from this conversation feeling a little less smarter than you did when you walked up to me, I hope that you learned something. That's all. Cheese.
What would be the perfect ideal date? And would you rather be something casual or fancy? Right off the back.
I like both. I think it depends on the vibe. It depends on like the conversation and the things that we're discussing. Because if we have something comes up and it's like, I've never been axe throwing, and you book a date to go axe throwing. Or if it's like, I love dirty martinis with blue cheese olives,
You
and I
and
get
these
the best
goddamn
one
dirty
from
martinis.
steakhouses, and we go to a nice steak. Like, it's about, so I guess what I'm saying is it's more about the intention than it is the activity. And it's about the person. Because if we vibe and we're having a good time, we can do anything. We just have to vibe. And that's always the hardest part.
I think people focus, I'd be lying if I say it didn't start with looks, but they always zone in and put so much emphasis on a person's looks when that's the first thing to go.
Yeah.
They never put focus on the things that last, like integrity, character, etc. And I don't know. I feel like people just don't give one another a fair shake because of that. I mean, again,
it depends on what they're looking for. Some men aren't looking for they want it, but they're not looking for it. They're looking for a trophy. And then when they get all these other things that come along with it that requires them to be accountable for themselves, then it becomes a problem. But I think that there's nothing wrong with looks being a priority. For me, looks are a priority, but it's not negotiable. You know what I mean? But I've dated the finest of men, and I've dated men that's like, you're a little weird looking, but for some reason I like your little ugly ass. And like, it'd be
you like them with a little bit of ugly?
It'd be like, you be squinting like, what do but you know what? I go with the vibe. Like, and if I'm vibing, and even if I know, like, or if I feel that you're not really my type, but for some reason I feel attracted to you, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter that you're not the finest, you're not this, you're not that. Like, if I'm smiling and having a good time, then we're going to vibe until we don't. So, but I do think that looks matter. And even like me saying you're not my type, I still have to be attracted to you. So you can, if I see a man, I'm like, that man looks good. I want to talk to him. It still looks first, but I'm hoping that when I talk to you that we open some doors and some windows and get someplace else. But so often you go to talk and it's just like, never mind.
You ever been with somebody or gotten with somebody who liked you more? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is they weren't really your type, but they really liked you, so they shot their shot and you gave them a shot.
Yes.
You feel like it works out better?
It's the worst thing you could do. It never works because in my experience, it's always like there's something underlying where they have this insecurity, like they feel like you're out of their league. They got you, and now it's like they have to work to keep you, or they feel like you're going to do something because it's always something extra with it, or they become like possessive and too clingy. And it's just like, let's just kind of have the same level of like, we fuck with each other. You know, it should fluctuate a little bit, like, you know, but that whole I'm obsessed with you thing, it's fun until it's not. So.
What was your longest relationship?
3 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What ended that? What'd you do? What'd you do? I know you did it. I know you...
Duh.
Hold on, what's his sign?
Capricorn.
Oof.
You don't even know nothing about Capricorn.
You're fucking right. I just wanted to say that. You're right. You goddamn
You're just
right.
trying to get me back.
You
from
goddamn right.
An emotional Aries.
I don't know nothing. When is
Look, everybody knows that Aries are emotional. It's fine. It comes with the territory. It's the
Capricorn is when? What month is that?
January.
When's your birthday?
January 19th.
Good.
119. Temptress 119.
No one cares.
Ooh.
No one cares.
Ooh, haters gonna hate. You know what?
No one cares. No one cares.
My longest relationship was 3 years. And you had a second question. What was it? What did I do?
What did you do?
I said, I'm not putting up with your bullshit. That's what I did. Bye.
Why is it always you know what, let me ask you this, right? Because I've seen a lot of melanated sisters online. Mm-hmm. For some reason lately they love saying that black men are zesty. And if we clap back at anything, we are zesty. And et cetera, yeah.
I don't feel that way.
You don't feel black men are zesty?
No.
I don't know. It's like the going thing. You never seen that?
I think that there has been a shift in masculinity, but I wouldn't go as far as... Now, you do have some zesty ones out there, but I think that I like the space where, you know, men are getting a little more in tune with their emotion, but, you know, you still got to be the man at the end of the day. But find your words, express yourself. That whole boys don't cry and men don't this, that's what got black men the stigma that they have now because, they so tough. No, y'all feelings be hurt.
No, I be crying.
We don't know you cry, so.
I'm an Aries. I be crying.
But like, no. So I like a soft man. I like a man that can express himself. If that's zesty, then, I mean, I don't know. But you still got to have a presence. Like, you can't be like, ridiculously emotional, or you can like, I feel like I'm the man in the relationship. I always have to lead the way and do this and do that. Like, you're not supposed to be my girlfriend, but I hope that zesty isn't like them saying men that are more in touch with how they feel and having expectations on how they want to be treated, because so often men put up with what women do and just because, that's just what women do, and they don't actually express that they don't like certain things or that this hurts my feelings or it makes me feel a certain way. So I am an advocate for men, like, stand up for yourself, express how you feel, put your foot down, be reasonable, and stop just holding all that shit in, because that's what's going to cheer you up at the end. So express yourself.
You like chocolate brothers?
I like men.
Okay. That's all right. All right.
I ideally, in my world, I would probably be with a black man, but I don't.
In your world?
In my world, we need some cute little black babies running around. I know I'm high yellow, but I'm still black.
You're in this high yellow.
Yeah. Wait till I get back from this cruise.
You're done.
I'm be a bronze goddess, baby. You ain't gonna know what to do with me. I'm telling you. But I don't limit myself just to black men. I limit myself to men that I think that are good men.
What other races have you dated?
White. Well, I shouldn't say that so loosely. Like Arabic.
Asian?
No. But I mean, I just follow the vibe. And I haven't dated a lot outside of black men, but I have dated outside of black men.
When was your last actual date? When was the last time someone took you on a date?
Ooh, shit! I would have to think back so far.
Damn, that's terrible.
It
That's
is.
terrible. You should have been able to say, yeah, well, last week or something, or somebody wanted to take me out.
Well, it's not that people don't want to take me out. It's a matter of, do I want to go? And I don't connect with people like that all the time. Like, I
That's
like
not
a
being mean. That's why.
connection. I like a connect. Well, no, they be being basic. I have opened the door for many of people of like, you know what? It's at least worth a date. This may be this may be that, but it's at least worth a date because then I'll get to know you more. Baby, we don't even be making it to the date. They can't get past the text message. They be talking crazy. And I have a plethora of examples that will roll right out of my mouth to tell you.
Well, I would love to hear it. Please.
I will.
Elaborate.
Okay, so one of the last guys, he was a little younger, and I typically don't date younger. But I was like, you know what? He seemed like he can maintain a conversation, like it was going well. It's at least worth a date, right? So we're chatting, and I noticed that the conversation, like if I would ask questions, it wasn't really reciprocated. It was just like answering. So it's like, okay, you're not really going well there. So then I told him that I lived in LA for a bit. And he was like, oh, but I moved back to Chicago. He's like, well, where else would you want to live? And I said, I think I want to be in Chicago, at least for now. And then he's like, outside of Chicago, motherfucker. In the first chat, like six, I was like,
wait.
And he said MF. He didn't say, he said MF. And I said, because natural me is like, first of all, who the fuck are you talking to? But, we're going to try to keep it cute. We're going to try to keep it soft. And maybe I can hear how you said it, even if it's like, but as a lady, in our first conversation, this is not how don't be comfortable with it.
You wait till the second conversation.
You wait till it's comfortable.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, don't do that. And then I said, but I feel like Chicago's where it's at for me right now. I've been different places and it's just like not really doing what I needed to do. And he just moved on with conversation. I said, so about your other message. And he was like, I didn't mean no disrespect by it, but take it as you may. We have nothing else to discuss. Like it was no, oh my bad, or, I didn't mean anything by it. Like maybe you read it wrong and this and that. If this is how you're entering the conversation, we don't need to go on a date. And unfortunately, a lot of people behave this way.
Some people don't even make it out the chat.
Most people don't make it out the chat.
Damn, that is harsh.
And it's not always because I'm cutting off. Sometimes they be ghosting and then they try to pop back up. And it's just like, no. And no, this guy, I met this, it was late as hell. I was lit at the gas station and I should not have been at the gas station. But I did the girl thing and I had like 15 miles left or something. I was like, I know, don't judge me. I usually don't.
I'm judging
I know,
you.
I can feel it. I'm gonna look away. I usually don't, but I was like, okay, you need to get some fucking gas. So I stopped to get some gas and I saw him trying to talk to me and I'm like, no. Then he's like, oh, can I pump your gas? I'm like, I'm gonna die at the gas station. So I was like, no, I'm fine. So then I could tell he was kind of lingering, not in like a weird way, but like, I know when I get out to like take the pump out, he's gonna try to talk to me. And I'm like, okay. So then he shoots his shot or whatever. And it wasn't really my type, but I was like, it's at least worth a date. Like, I appreciate the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he was like, I'm going to shoot this shot regardless. I'll wait for you to get back out the car. He didn't try to approach my car. So like, okay, we got some basic foundations laid. Exchange information. And he was like, I'm off the next 3 days. He said, what's your week look like? I said, that's a lot. Then he was like, I'm off the next 3 days. I said, okay. I said, I'm not doing nothing later today. We can go out today. Why wait? I said, as long as you plan something between 4 and 7 o'clock to start, then we'll figure it out. He said, okay. I didn't hear from this man until 4:30.
You got ghosted?
And he probably married or something. He texted me at 4:30 and I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I forgot I had court and this and that because he was in law enforcement. I'm like, you said you was off. You lying already. And I just wanted to see where.
Well, you ain't give him a grace period?
A grace for what?
Wait, you said from 4 to 7, right?
To have something planned. To contact me at 4. You should have been messaging me that morning to say something. You contact me. Am I supposed to just jump out the bed? But, it is
said
what
he
it
probably
is.
married.
And then he was like, I'm headed to the gym. This is going nowhere. You haven't even acknowledged, like, you're trying to keep conversation going, but clearly something else is going on. But yeah. So, I mean.
You've been ghosted before?
Everyone's been ghosted before. Everyone. Now, it's not to say they don't always try to come back, but everyone's been ghosted for at least some period of time. And then they try to pop up like, how you been?
Yeah, but you never been permanently ghosted. Like he just...
No,
I'm good. Never hear from them again.
Why would somebody do that? I don't ghost people.
I don't know, man. You kind of crazy. I'm not sure.
I'm a heavy communicator. I would just say, this is not what I'm looking for, but I wish you well. Because I actually don't want you to keep texting me. I don't want your name to keep popping up if I don't want to talk to you. I'd rather you just...
Are you more of a texter or you like to talk to people? Because I feel like the phone thing is phased out. People will be like, "Yo, hang up. Let me text you later." Then nobody wants to talk on the phone anymore. Nobody want to hear
The phone
voices.
is, okay. I prefer to text unless I've decided like a certain space. But I have had men that's like, can I call you? And I'd be like, yeah. And then you get
I
on
feel
the
like
phone.
that's an ick for you.
No, it's not.
I don't want to hear your voice.
It's not an ick. I think that we're just in that time. You know what I mean? And it's not that I don't even want to hear your voice. It's just like texting is comfortable, as laid back as this, is that. And I don't feel a connection to you where I want to sit on the phone, but I also know we got to do shit to get a connection. So even if I don't want to talk on the phone, I do still talk on the phone.
You don't miss those days when we used to talk to your significant other, whoever you was messing with. You go to sleep. No, you go to sleep.
I
no, you
never
go to
did
sleep.
that.
You go to sleep.
That's so-
What?
Absolutely not. Like, you did that?
Yes, I did that. Well, I didn't say. I just fell asleep.
Oh, right. No,
asleep.
stick to your story.
I fell asleep on the phone.
No, you fall asleep. Say it back.
You fall asleep.
You fall asleep.
No, you fall
Ain't nobody
asleep.
doing that shit. But I have been on the phone until we fell asleep, type of thing.
Right, yeah.
And I've talked to people recently where we're on the phone 2-3 hours every day, multiple times a week. And that's like a real way. So that's why I say I'm not anti-phone. Like if I'm vibing with you and I like you, look, call me. When that name pop up and it's a phone call, I'm excited about it. It's just sometimes that transitional period where it's like, okay, let's talk on the phone and hope it's not too awkward. But I do think that you should still do it. You should absolutely do it.
So I saw a bit, right, where this comedian said,
I'm scared. You always have this pause before you say something insane.
I gotta get ready for it.
Okay.
Good dick could do shit that bad dick can't do.
Is
that true?
Yes.
Is
yes.
it?
Especially.
So bad dick can't call you 3 a.m, but good dick could call you 4 a.m. and wake you up.
Well, that depends on. Well, yes, but
You nasty. I knew it.
But
you goddamn Capricorns.
it depends. But good dick can definitely get away with stuff that bad dick can't, because it's like, because your first response is like, first of all, your dick ain't even good enough to be acting like this, and that's just the truth. It's like you don't have me in la la land enough for me not to call you on this bullshit. Good dick have you like, this is some bullshit, and I'm gonna probably call you on it. And we're going to talk about it. I really hope we can get past this. Very different. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And then every now and again, it's like, you double back because it's fun. But good dick definitely gets more privileges, probably more than it should. But I still have my limits. I cut off good dick too.
I respect
with
that.
a tear in my eye.
I respect that.
I'm like, man, ain't nobody do the thing like that. That's crazy.
I don't know, because shit, does it work like that for men? Can
I feel like you've gotten away with, back in your day, you got away with some shit.
For sure.
And I would also double down on that and say that height gets away with more stuff too, because sometimes height is not associated with good dick, but because they like the way you look, they like the stature and the way they look with you, you'll get away with more as well.
I've heard
tall
that.
men get away with more than short men do.
I've heard that. I don't know why that is, but I've heard that.
I'm telling you why
I don't know. I'm
because
just
they
saying.
like how they look, how you look with them. You are a trophy in reverse. Don't be mad.
No, I'm gonna play something for you I saw earlier. I want to know what you think about
Can
this,
I get
right?
a little refill?
Yeah, well, you got it.
Can you help me out here? Thank you. I'm scared of what you're gonna play.
All right, listen to this. Right, I see this guy all the time.
Okay.
What's your age?
I'm 18.
Let's say we're together, and I'm paying all the bills and taking care of you, but I cheated on you. Would you give me another shot, or would you leave?
I would give you another shot, of course I would. If you're taking care of the things and, we can have a simple conversation to establish, the exclusivity of our relationship, then I understand. But if you have one slip up, then I can't really say nothing. You're taking care of everything. My duty is to suck and shut the up at the end of the day.
Suck and shut the up?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
Well, I realized that a man, after a long day of work and he wants to pay, he's paying for all the bills, he's, taking care of all the duties, fixing the plumbing, fixing all the stuff that a woman wouldn't do. I do want to give him his time to breathe afterwards. I need to pleasure him. I need to make sure he's fed and happy, and then I'll be able to kind of talk to him. But I want to really make sure that my man has everything he needs and to support our family and not be overly stressed out. I don't need to create problems with him crying over the phone because he liked another girl's Instagram photo. It makes no sense.
So this is her responding to him asking if her man cheated, would she take him back? You think there's life after that?
I think that many people have forgiven someone for cheating. That's just what it is. It depends on situational. It depends on if you need to be there. Like if you can't survive on your own. It depends on if you feel like you contributed in some. It's so many different factors too. I've forgiven people for cheating, and with no regret. It usually doesn't change, but my job is not to what you say, suck, fuck, and shut the fuck up.
Right.
Hell no.
I was about to ask you that.
But she's 18. You know what I mean? You should be sucking and fucking like that. And that's fun. But I feel like if you want a woman that's going to shut the fuck up, then you don't want a partner. You know what I mean? Like, I think that as women, sometimes we do need to know when to shut the fuck up. But that's not my job to shut the fuck up. Like, I feel like I should be able to speak my piece. I should be able to advise. And I should be able to be a partner. But that's not like, shut the fuck up. It's like, okay, you've talked enough. You should probably stop now. I'm more that person. But I think that people forgive for cheating, men and women. You know, it's more women that are open and, you know, it's the thing. But I agree with a lot of things she said, just not in the way that it was said. I think that it was a few things missing.
Like?
You know, I think it is like when you come home, it's supposed to be your place of peace for everybody. And it's not just like your job to make sure it's his place of peace. It's his job to make sure it's yours too. And that's where you all are supposed to be partners and working together. And if you're miserable at home, but you're only trying to make him happy, then that's not a partnership. But I do think that if you're with someone, then it's both of your responsibility to make sure that y'all sucking, fucking, and shutting the fuck up when you need to and doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And that's how shit work.
What you think more is more important in making a relationship last? Communication or the other?
Yelling. Why is that the alternative? I thought
No,
it
I
was
said
gonna be like,
the other.
what's the...
Well, shut the fuck up.
It should be a blend of both. Like, that's why I say the suck, fuck, shut the fuck up. It's like, no, that's like keep her pregnant and in the kitchen. No, we're not doing that shit no more. But I think communication is key. I think knowing when to stop and what to press, pick your battles, like that's just being an adult. And again, there should be lots of sucking and fucking from both ends.
I don't know if it's coming from my end. But,
you sucking titties.
Oh, true that.
Right.
True
I mean,
that. Okay.
It's like toes. It's like, everybody sucking and fucking in some capacity. If you're not sucking it, okay, you know where I was about to go.
Fair enough.
I'm like, but look. Everybody sucking and fucking in some capacity.
True that.
And I think that is essential. A good, healthy sex relationship is essential to a relationship, in my opinion. I know for me, sex is very important in a relationship. I couldn't be with someone that I couldn't sexually enjoy, because I'm not a cheater. But I would need to be satisfied. And if you're not doing that, we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to work through it. But I couldn't see myself in a long-term relationship where I was not sexually satisfied. But again, going back to the original question, that goes back to communication. So communication is definitely key. I think a lot of things boil down to miscommunications or lack of communication. That's just my. And then lots of sucking and fucking. Yay!
You know what?
We should cheers to that.
Cheers
to sucking and fucking. Cheers. Happy relationships. Why are you laughing?
No particular reason.
What you got?
So where do you see yourself at this year as far as you see yourself getting married anytime soon? Or you just living life?
I'm a relationship girl. So it's not like I am like, I'm single. That's where I want to be. And I'm going to be where I'm at until I'm someplace else. I don't mind being single. I am a relationship girl, but I don't do relationships just for the sake of being in a relationship. So if that means I'm single, then I'm single and I'm not sad about it. But my preference would be to be in a relationship and sucking and fucking consistently, you know, that part. So, ooh, you gonna check it? Maybe I am toxic. Because I absolutely want you to chug that. I feel like you'll get more fun too. Drink it. Oh my God, please.
Yeah, it's juice. It's juice. It's juice. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I enjoy being single. I think it's pros and cons to everything. I'm just living life and living the best life I can live with what I got, and I'm still happy and I'm still having fun. So yeah, if I meet a man this year and he's serious, then I'll be in a relationship, and I'm okay with that too.
All
'Cause
right,
I
so-
love to cook, and he needs some. Like I cooked the best steak yesterday.
you know what? Let me ask you this in closing, right?
Okay.
You cook. What would be that one meal? Because the key to a man's heart is still through his stomach. I don't care what anybody says. What would be that go-to meal for you, for him?
Well, my go-to meal would be the meal that he wants. It's not what I'm best at cooking.
Yeah, but what you I'm talking about you showing out. Because what he
I cook
want,
for real, so it's not.
I don't know if I believe that, but we'll
You
go
know,
with that.
well, it's not for you to believe. It's for
We'll
me
go
to
with that.
know. But what I'm telling you is, I enjoy cooking. So if it's steak, if it's lobster, if it's crab legs, if it's salmon croquettes, if it's, I don't know, whatever you come up with, it's not too much that I can't. Cause I'm not a chef. I can't cook everything under the sun, but I can cook a lot better than a lot of
I
people.
don't know about them pictures. I can't tell. They look heavily seasoned. I don't, but okay, we'll see.
I get no complaints. I've never fed someone and they said they didn't like it. So that's one of the fun things for me in cooking for people that I care about is like, what do you want? What should I cook? And they just like, you just stare and I'm like, you like it? So yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever it is that he wants, I would be able to cook. So that
Fair
would be
enough.
my favorite meal to make because that's what he wants.
What do you want the people to know about you, Temptress?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What can we expect to see from you for 2025?
2025, for me, I try to keep my content consistent. I'm always trying to elevate. I am hoping to have a couple collabs coming up in the future. So hopefully that pans out. I'd love to get that to them. And at the end of the day, I'm human. I appreciate you. I love all the support and I hope that it continues. And I hope that I continue to make content that makes you get where you need to be. That is all.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You're
That's
the
a wrap.
best.